Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Alex here of Advice by Alex. I want to thank you very much for stopping by and giving me a listen to. Today is Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. I want to thank you very much for tuning in to today's podcast. This is episode 1 officially. I want to thank you if you checked out the intro last week. I want to thank you for very much for checking that out last week. And I had a great time recording that intro and everything like that. So I hope you all are having a fabulous, fabulous week and everything like that. I realized that once I posted the podcast yesterday, because I originally was doing this for yesterday, that the podcast was only having it had stopped with the volume. And then I realized that I had to record my mic or recharge my microphone. So I was like, oh, that's probably the reason why it is having that issue and things like that. I didn't realize how long it needed before it was to be able to recharge and things like that. So I am definitely extremely excited in regard to learning more about podcast and just going into the rhythm again. So I definitely do appreciate your patience with the learning curve. But if you like this channel, I ask that you hit the subscribe button, the like button, as it definitely does help. And the more people that find me, the more people I can help find their aha moment. And that is what we are all aiming to do and things like that. So I am definitely very, very much excited in regard to that. And everything like that. So, but, that is, where that is at, and everything like that. So, but hopefully overall you are having an absolutely fabulous week. This is Tuesday, so we got over that Monday slump and the morning after the weekend. So that is absolutely fantastic. I am greatly happy to be over that weekend hump and to be back into the groove of the work week. Now tomorrow is Wednesday, so we're already at that halfway hump already. So I am extremely happy in regard to that and things like that. So I apologize for this recording being a day late, but I had a great time recording it, and then lo and behold, I realized that it's not working. So here is take number 2. So I hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to be learning about the history of the angels and what are angels exactly. So that is very much exciting because angels have been rooted throughout history, both related in religion and also spirituality for over the years and things like that. But it is all up to us to learn about them and how they can help us here on Earth. And since we are going through a series directly related to angels, and angels hold a special spot in my heart, it is where it is very much exciting to me to learn and educate everybody from what I know and what I have found as well in regard to the angels. And everything like that. So I am extremely excited with that and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so before we dive into that, just a couple of announcements. If you have not already checked out the episode already, I do have another podcast out there, which is a day in the life of a hotel worker. I have been also in the hotel industry for over 8 years now. So I have a wide range of experiences and knowledge in the hotel industry from what I have learned. So that is exactly where that is at. So if you want to know more about the hotel industry, you can definitely go ahead and find that information out and things like that. So that is really, really exciting, and stuff like that. So that is exactly very much exciting. So that is where that is at. So let us go ahead and after that announcement, I did also post a new episode or a new weekly for the weekly Angelic Messages on my YouTube channel, which is Advice by Alex, which you can go ahead and find on my YouTube channel, Advice by Alex. It is also linked in the bio, so you can go ahead and check that out, and it will take you directly to my page, and that is this week's messages is titled "Seeing the Truth in a Situation." Lessons all around. So I find that it is incredibly important to learn lessons, as it does help us to grow. So, speaking of which, if you would like to further get a reading with me for a soul development, confirmation of what you may already know, and things like that, you can also visit me on my Etsy page. I will also link my Etsy page in the description box below of this show's notes, so you can go ahead and check that out. I do have a Planoly link as well, but right now it's currently not working as well right now, so I'm going to have to fiddle with that. And then once I get that back up and running, I will let you know, because then you can buy directly from the Planoly link. So, but in the meantime, I will leave my Etsy shop as well, just another area and format as well, where you can find me to buy a reading if you'd like. So, so we're going to go ahead and move into the first card, or the card of the week, I should say. And this is from the John Holland deck, the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. And when I drew this the other day, I'm just going to keep it because it goes right along with everything that we've been chit-chatting about. And that is seeing the truth of in the situation, or that's the title of the episode on YouTube, and this is Seek the Truth in this, or the card is titled Seek the Truth. I'm having such a hard time getting this all out. This is why I leave things unedited, because you get to see me being more of my ditzy side, because I definitely have a ditzy side, I will say. And things like that. So, the more that you get to know me, and the more I get to know you guys, you will see all sides of me on this podcast and everything like that. So, the card of the week is Seek the Truth. And what the angels were really telling me when I drew this card is that it's all about revelation. So, I feel like we are going to be getting some revelation for this week in regard to the situations that are around us. And this kind of ties in a little bit with the video on YouTube, but it is just where it is important to be able to understand that it is all about seeking the truth. And it may be a hard truth to swallow for some of us and things like that. So, and I know it can be a little bit more challenging, and where it is not always something that we want to hear, but it is what we need to hear. in order to heal and to be able to grow. And so some of the times truth can be hard. But it's all about learning to accept the truth and how can we move about healing certain aspects in that situation that we are going through, and knowing how to change those patterns. Because sometimes we all have patterns in our life that we go through over and over again. And this is one of those weeks that the universe is going to smack dab you in the face until you get the lesson finally, or you wake up to the lesson. Or it can cause you to wake up to spiritual development and a spiritual journey. I went through my first spiritual awakening, I would say around 2009, 2010, when I met my spiritual mentor, Ali Thies, and that is where I had my first spiritual awakening. And then a couple years later, after I met my twin flame, it is where, and then we went through this twin flame separation. And then when they first left, that is when I went through a deeper form of spiritual awakening. So that is very much where that is at, and everything like that. So that is kind of like my journey in itself with spiritual awakening. And that was like a journey of enlightenment as well. So, but for this week in particular, I can definitely relate to the Seek the Truth card, because it was in regard to where I currently live and things like that. So right now I live in an apartment and everything like that. I've been here for a few years now. So I've had a few leases and everything like that in my current place. And for a while, I realized I was starting to become more unhappier with where I was living. And I didn't really want to admit that because I was scared of like change. And I feel like all of us are scared of change. And change can be a little bit scary, but it's all about growth and personal development. And for myself, it was where I realized that I was unhappy, and I came to the realization that I didn't like the way that the apartment was doing things anymore, especially with our new property manager that we have, compared to our old one that we had. And then it just was making a lot of changes, and some of those changes I didn't agree with their change and stuff like that. So that is why it is a little bit, it was weighing on me for a while. And I know my best friend is currently in the process of moving and things like that. And we've talked about that. And it is also where, I was definitely very much scared of admitting to myself, because I had an attachment to this place. And the reason why I had an attachment to this place is because of the fact that I was basically, it's my first apartment that I've had on my own. I didn't have a roommate or anything like that. I was able to maintain it on my own and able to grow and develop from being on my own and becoming more of an adult in the adult world and things like that. So it was definitely a learning environment for myself. So that is very much why I was excited to be able to I was excited to be able to really just admit that, even if it was scary, because it was a weight off your chest. And anytime there's a weight off of your chest, it can be a little bit scary. And so I came to realize that do feel that this lease that I'm currently going into in September is my last lease. And then I will be moving and things like that. And I am looking out of the city that I'm currently in, still in the state of Ohio, but in a different area, going back to more of my hometown, in Cleveland area. So, and that, was definitely happy because I've also outgrown the city that I have been in. So I was like, okay, I'm ready for that change. Going to be taking the steps necessary to be able to create that change. And that's where a lot of people forget to do. We have to be able to create that step to be able to create that change, and everything like that. So that is, basically where that is at. So, that is where that is at. So, that is one of those, things and stuff like that. So, and this too can be it. The reason why I'm telling you this, and it's a long roundabout story of the card, of the Seek the Truth card, is that even if the truth can hurt, it's all about acknowledging it, understanding it, and moving forward on a deeper level. And so that way you can be able to heal and then release any karmic patterns that may be holding you down, and any, thing that you may want to release. And we are in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, and the shadow period officially ends on the 25th of August. So that is next week. So, which is very exciting. I'm super glad that Mercury retrograde is over. So, but yeah, so that is kind of one of those things that is where I am very much happy and things like that. So, but yeah, so that is, one of those, things and stuff like that. So, but as we are going through this, it is now officially time to get to the topic of the week. After I've been rambling on for such a long period of time, which I do apologize for, which is all about the history of angels. So angels have been around since the dawn of time. They have been around quite a while and everything like that. So they are essentially a supernatural, presence in our lives that can guide and support us. And typically, they are currently known as messengers of God. So they are definitely a messenger of God, and they do the work of God and things like that. And they can also help us out in our day-to-day life. I have been currently seeing angels all my life, as I have mentioned in the past. I have seen them in churches. I have seen them in different areas and around people and things like that. I've seen them when I've been in the hospital and things like that. So it really is where they are all around, and things like that. I've seen also them in white robes. So, typically they don't show up as, human presence, but where they are in their more celestial form or their more, spiritual form. But they can take on, a shape of a human in order, for us to be able to have that divine intervention, basically, and stuff like that. So the reason why it's also important, and it is because how they came to help people in the past, and how it can relate to where we are now currently in our current history right now. And how they can help at different parts in history is basically, what it is. So, basically, that angels are, and especially archangels, are typically, considered to be high level angels with significant responsibilities or powers with heavenly, hierarchies. And so, and a significant religion that correlates with angels a lot is Christianity, and that is the religion that I grew up with. And there are 7 archangels mentioned by name: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Raguel, Ramiel, and Sariel. Even though there's many more outside of that frame of angels, those are the more well-known angels, and everything like that. And they each have their own individual attribution or unique abilities. Michael is for protection, Gabriel for revelation, Raphael for healing, Uriel for wisdom, Raguel for justice, Ramiel for hope, and Sariel for guidance. And there are also angels that are in different religions as well, but those are just some of the main ones that we can name as well. So that is where that is at. So I did want to bring up the origins of archangels, particularly religious beliefs and mythologies that mention angels. And this little section can be found on archangelsdirect.com/what is the history of the archangels. And archangels have been a part of religious belief systems for centuries. Some of the earliest mentions of archangels can be found in the Abrahamic religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And in these faiths, archangels are believed to be divine messengers who served as intermediators between God and humanity. In Judaism, archangels are mentioned in the Talmud and other Jewish texts. One of the most well-known archangels in Jewish tradition is Michael, who is said to have fought against Satan and his demons. In Christianity, as we already mentioned, but there are 7 archangels mentioned in the Bible: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Salaphael, Juadel, or Judah, Jehudiel. I'm not going to try to butcher that. Sorry, Archangel. And also Barakiel. And in Islamic tradition, there are also angels known as archangels. They include Jibril or Gabriel, Michael or Michael, Asrafel or Raphael, Izel or Azrael, Azazel or Malik, or also known as the angel of death, Arut and Marut. So they also mention the theories on the creation of archangels. There are many theories about how archangels came into existence. Some believe that they are created at the same time as other angels by God himself. Others think that they were once human beings who achieved great spiritual enlightenment before being transformed into celestial beings. Another theory is that archangels were created to help govern the universe alongside God himself. They serve as protectors of humanity while also maintaining balance throughout creation. Some people believe that archangels' origin lies in pagan mythology, where they were believed to be the descendants of premortal deities. And it is important to know that such theories are not universally accepted, but they do add depth and intrigue to the discussion of archangels' existence, regardless of which theory is believed. So basically, this being said, that archangels have a wide variety of influence on different cultures and different beliefs in each culture, and where it is said that it is very much where um, that archangels can definitely play an influence in our culture and everything like that. So that is definitely where that is at. So I will definitely leave um, that to your imagination. But also, I did want to say that the depictions of archangels in different cultures, and this is also from that same website. Um, when it comes to this, when it comes to the depiction of archangels, different cultures and mythologies have fascinating stories to tell. Among the most intriguing are those from Greek, Roman, and Egyptian mythology. And in Greek mythology, for example, there is Hermes, known as the messenger of the gods. He was believed to possess exceptional intelligence and wits that earned him a spot among the great Olympians. However, his role as an archangel was not limited to being a messenger. Some stories associate it with him with conducting souls to the underworld. Similarly, in Roman mythology, there is Mercury, also known as Hermes' counterpart. Like Hermes, he was considered a messenger god, but was also believed to be in charge of commerce and prosperity. As an archangel figure in ancient Rome's religion, Mercury represented healing and vitality. And Egyptian mythology also has its own depiction of archangels. For instance, there's Horus, known as the god of kingship and sky, often depicted with a falcon's head or wings with his back like an angelic being. Horus plays a pivotal role in ancient Egypt's religion as he symbolizes protection. Um, so there are definitely a wide variety of the different types of angels as well. And there's also the cherubim and the seraphim, and I believe that is what the different levels are, for my knowledge as well. That is basically where that is at, and everything like that. Of course, my A friend, or as I like to call it, Alexis, is currently basically interrupting us and everything like that. So, um, but you can also see angels in art as well. This is from Wikipedia. So, according to mainstream Christian theology, angels are holy spiritual beings and therefore do not eat, excrete, or have sex and have no gender, although there are different roles such as warriors, where some angels may suggest a human gender. Christian artists were careful not to given them specific gender attributes, or at least until the 19th century, when some acquire breasts, for example. So, it also goes on to say in the Wikipedia, in an address during, I hate when they have pop-ups on my computer. It is also mentioned that in an address during a general audience of August 6, 1986, entitled Angels Participate in the History of Salvation, Pope John Paul II explained that angels have no body, even if in particular circumstances they reveal themselves under visible forms because of their mission for the good of people. Oh, yes. Christian art perhaps reflects the descriptions in Revelation 4 chapter 4, 6 through 8 of the four living creatures, Greek, and the descriptions in the Hebrew Bible of cherubim and seraphim, the chayat in Ezekiel's Merkabah vision, and the seraphim of Isaiah. However, while cherubim and seraphim have wings in the Bible, no angel is mentioned as having wings. The earliest known Christian image of an angel in the Catacomb of Priscilla is without wings. In that same period, representations of angels on lamps and also shown them without wings, as for example, the angel in the sacrifice of Isaac, seen in the sarcophagus of Junus Bassus. I so apologize if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I'm just kind of going by what it says. I'm terrible at names, as you guys will know. Although the side view of the sarcophagus shows winged angelic figures, the earliest known representation of angels with wings is on Prince Sarcophagus, attributed to the time of Theodos, discovered at, I don't even know how to say that, Sariguzel near Istanbul in the 1930s. From that period on, Christian art has represented angels mostly with wings, as in the cycle of mosaics in the Basilica of St. Mary Mare, 432 to the 440, 4 and 6 winged angels drawn from the higher grades of angels, especially cherubim and seraphim, and often showing only their faces and wings, are derived from the Persian art and are usually only known in heavenly context as opposed to performing tasks on earth. They often appear as in the pendentives of church domes or semi-domes. Prior to the Judeo-Christian tradition in the Greek world, the goddess Nike and the god Ares and Thanatos were also depicted in human-like form with wings. So that's just a little bit about I wanted to go into a little bit more format in regard to basically what it was with their background and everything like that. So that is where that is at and everything like that. So, but yeah, so that is where that is overall and everything like that. So, but yes, so, but anyway, that's just a little bit about the history of the angels. We'll probably go into Archangel Michael for the next time, and where we learn a little bit more in depth about Archangel Michael as well. So that is very much intriguing and stuff like that. So that is very much exciting and stuff like that. So, but anyway, without further ado, it is where I also wanted to go into the special of the week, which is an old school special, and that is it is where you can get. Well, we're actually going to make this for the rest of the month of August, just because I don't want to have it for 1 week and not have it another week in case people wanted to get it, but we'll have it for the month of August. And that is a 1-card angel reading, or not a 1-card angel reading, but a 1-question angel reading of whatever it is that you would like to do or know about, and things like that, love, romance, career, and things like that. But also keep in mind, I don't read on legal or medical or things like that. So I don't read on those things, but anything else in between. But it is exactly where you can ask a one question angel reading, and that will be for a total of $10. So, and all you have to do is email me at Alex, T as in Tom, Artman21 at yahoo.com. Just please put in like the subject line of basically a podcast special for August. And then that way I can know exactly what it is. And then I will send you a PayPal link, and then you pay it. And then, we'll move on from there. So, all you would have to do is message me that you would like the one question angel reading for the $10. And then, again, that's Alex, T as in Tom, Artman, Artman, 21 at yahoo.com. So I will leave that in the description below as well in the show's notes. And yes, so that brings us to the very much conclusion of the very first episode of, it brings us to the very first conclusion of the first episode of the podcast. Yay! So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I am going to sign off here. I am wishing you a day filled with happiness, joy, peace, and love as well. And hope you have a fantastic, fantastic week. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day as well. And until next time, guys, sending you so much love, angel blessings, and I will talk with y'all later. Bye, everybody.